Aaron Quinn and Denise Huskins slept calmly in their home until an intruder broke in and abducted Denise and demanded a ransom of $17,000. The police accused Aaron of making the whole thing up. He had murdered his girlfriend and he was using a kidnapping as a cover-up. But then Denise returns unharmed 2 days later to her parents' home. The police continuously blamed them for wasting police resources. But in actuality, it was all real. The kidnapping, everything they were both saying, was real. On March 23, 2015, Aaron and Denise were asleep in their home when at 3 a.m. a man broke in their home and woke them up. The intruder ordered Denise to bind Aaron with zip ties and then bound Denise himself and put blacked-out swimming goggles and headphones playing recorded messages on him. The intruder then forced the couple to ingest the sedative, threatening to give it them in another way if they refused. The intruder informed them that she'd be taken for 48 hours and ordered Aaron to stay within a taped-off area of his home and to respond to him through text and email for ransom. The attacker said that cameras were watching him and that if Aaron called the police, he would kill Denise. After waking up from the sedative the next afternoon, Aaron was fearful of being watched and fearful of calling the police, but he decided to call his older brother, who was an FBI agent. His brother instructed him to immediately call the police. When the police finally arrived at the home, it had been about 9 hours since the abduction, and they questioned him as if he were a suspect in his girlfriend's disappearance. Investigators asked him if he was on drugs, to which he responded that he had been drugged by the intruder, and they questioned him as to why he waited several hours before calling them. Aaron was taken to the police station to finally give a formal statement. What was a harrowing incident and supposed to be an interview turned into an interrogation. One of the detectives, Matthew Mustard, asked Aaron if he was cheating on Denise and about the status of their relationship. At one point he told Aaron, "I don't think you're being truthful, and I don't think anybody came into your house." Matthew Mustard accused Aaron of harming Denise and said that Aaron would look like a monster the longer he waited to tell police officers the truth. An FBI agent administered a lie detector test, which they alleged Aaron failed, but repeatedly accused him of harming Denise, which he denied. However, the tests were inconclusive. Aaron was held for questioning for 18 hours. The following day, Denise contacted the San Francisco Chronicle with proof of live message. Police then brought Aaron back to the station to record a response. On March 25, 2015, Denise resurfaced, alive and well, in Huntington Beach, more than 400 miles from Vallejo. Denise recalled in detail that her attacker raped her twice while she was being held. She said that after he assaulted her for the first time, she had told him how she'd been abused sexually as a child, hoping that it would stop him from doing so again, but then he raped her a second time. She said that he recorded videos of both assaults, telling her that he'd release the footage publicly if she spoke to the police about what had happened to her. She said that her captor told her that he was part of a large organization and that there were other men involved with her abduction. When she was eventually released in Huntington Beach, she was still somewhat sedated from drugs her attacker had given that day. After she was released, she said that her attacker told her that she couldn't tell the police that he was in the military or that she had sex with him and that he would always be watching her. As a result, she said she feared telling the police initially that she'd been sexually assaulted for fear of putting herself, Aaron, or her family in danger. When Denise appeared unharmed, the Vallejo Police Department held a press conference, completely admonishing them for the resources they had wasted. Denise and Aaron hired defense attorneys despite doing anything wrong. Denise's attorney alleged that the Vallejo PD delayed issuing a sexual assault exam for forensic evidence, though the police denied the claim. They constantly doubted both of them until the attacker sent the Chronicle a letter saying that Denise was telling the truth. In Dublin, California, 40 miles from Vallejo, a couple woke up in the middle of the night on June 25, 2015, to an attacker shining a light in their faces. The woman ran into the bathroom and called 911 while her husband fought off the attacker. Though he did escape, he left his cell phone and other evidence, including zip ties, duct tape, and a glove behind. Denise and Aaron called Misty Carousel, the investigator that cracked the case, her very first as a detective. She traced the cell phone from the scene and found it registered to the stepfather of a man named Matthew Muller. She reached out to the other Bay Area law enforcement agencies. He was found to be a suspect in a home invasion robbery in Palo Alto in 2009. She also found a pair of swimming goggles blacked out with duct tape and the blonde hair attached and flagged it to the FBI, noting that he may have been Denise's kidnapper or that he had done other kidnappings or attacks. On June 18, 2015, the Dublin police arrested Matthew for the local home invasion case, and the FBI apprehended him later that month after finding evidence, including Aaron's laptop, in his home that linked him to their abduction. Matthew Muller was a former Marine and Harvard Law-educated immigration attorney. He told authorities he suffered from Gulf War illnesses. His attorney later claimed that he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He was reportedly disbarred in the state of California after accepting a $1,250 advance from a client and failing to secure a green card for their son. In September 2016, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of federal kidnapping, admitting that he used audio recordings to make Denise believe he wasn't working alone, blacked out goggles, liquid sedatives, and other tools in her abduction. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison. He also faced state charges of kidnapping, burglary, robbery, and 2 counts of rape by force. But in November 2020, he was deemed incompetent to stand for trial for that case. In 2022, however, he was deemed mentally fit and pleaded guilty to those charges. Denise and Aaron settled with the city in 2018 for $2.5 million, and in March 2020, they welcomed their first daughter and then their second in November 2022.